I am what I am, and that's all that— Okay, this bit already! Multiverse theory, on top of being astronomically improbable from a scientific standpoint, is one of, if not the laziest narrative tool ever conceived by man, and as far as I'm concerned, has irreparably ruined, among other things, superhero comics. Why? Well, apart from relatable characters and a grounded world for them to reside in, what is the most important part of any story? That it progresses. That the actions of the characters in the world have lasting consequences. And with a literally endless supply of parallel versions of that world for writers to choose from, that simply isn't possible. Let's say, for example, that Batman is facing off against the Joker, and the only way to defeat him is by sacrificing his own life. Batman being Batman, he does what he feels is necessary to protect the people of Gotham, and subsequently dies. Ultimately, the fate of the Joker is left ambiguous because the Joker is, well, the Joker. But Batman, as in Bruce Wayne, the man behind the cowl, is now dead. As in, confirmed dead. No pulse, no Lazarus Pit, dead. Alfred, Robin, and the rest of the Bat family are left to grieve and are forced to cope with the implications of the Dark Knight's absence and their ongoing fight against injustice. The void must be filled, the torch passed on. Who among them feels worthy enough to fill the great detective's shoes? How much more do they feel is worth losing to this lifestyle that's essentially been forced upon them? This is a tragedy, both personal and potentially national in nature. One which cannot and will not be resolved in a single storyline, and in the next issue, everything's fine because Bruce is alive and well on Earth 200 whatever, and Robin is his son. Because fuck you. The established existence of multiple Earths, and with them, multiple iterations of characters we're meant to grow attached to, cheapens the impact of any plot complications that may arise. Because at any given time, the writers can just give up on a storyline when they've either run out of ideas or have simply grown bored with the current ideas, and shift focus to another, nearly identical setting in what essentially serves as a soft reboot. Fans of Marvel and DC are all too familiar with this practice. So with that in mind, what reason do I have to give a shit about anything that happens in these stories when I know it ultimately amounts to nothing? It's the same reason I bailed on the Dragon Ball series. Nothing changes. Some big baddie comes out of the otherworldly woodwork, kills a whole bunch of people, the Z-Warriors train their asses off, knowing full well that their contributions aren't going to make a damn bit of difference. Goku, or one of his kids, reaches a new level of Super Saiyan, defeats the big baddie, everyone who died is wished back by the Dragon Balls or some variant thereof, and the baddie either goes to hell or becomes a new ally. Rinse, repeat, thank you. And the fact that Dragon Ball Super apparently decided to adopt multiverse theory as an essential plot point doesn't help its case. You know what would fix this? Something so absurdly simple, yet effective to implement that it would literally make a world of difference? Keeping dead characters dead. Doesn't seem that difficult to understand. When a character dies, it forces every other character to change in how they interpret that death. It doesn't matter if they liked the dead character or not. The noted absence of that character will leave a lasting impression on the story, because no character exists without purpose. If someone loved that character, they have to cope with the loss and decide how, if at all, they are going to carry on without them. If they hated the character, they could gloat about how they're still around while the other is 6 feet underground, causing them to get cocky in the face of their next big obstacle. Whatever happens, it's different than how things were before. The same, sadly, cannot be said for superhero comics or any other stories with known multiple realities. And if you need further proof of the inconsequential nature of plot development and multiversal storytelling, how many of you knew who the f*** Miles Morales was before Into the Spider-Verse came out? I rest my case.